Hey there everyone, ODMAA here coming at you with a Cardfight Vanguard deck profile. So this past weekend, I finally got a crack at 6 boxes of the first booster set for Vanguard Overdress, and was able to complete my Dragon Empire deck. So that was a lot of fun. I wanted to get this video out earlier, but Digimon videos took priority, so this is coming later than usual, but it's here, and I'm ready to share with you Vanguard Overdress. Starting with my boy Trickstar here. So, like, oh man, this deck is so good, actually. I wish I could play in more local tourneys, actually, with this deck, but I have to work most weekends that these tourneys happen, so hopefully in June that lightens up, because I plan to participate hardcore for when the Festival Collection booster set comes out. So the Festival Collection, for those who don't know, is just basically a foil set where they just reprint a bunch of these commons and stuff and just make them foil. So that's pretty cool. That's when I plan to be more active with Vanguard. Just for a little update there. It'll be mostly Digimon moving forward still. It'll mostly be Digimon, especially with set 4 around the corner. But yeah, that's my little update with that. So let's get into the deck profile and and how much fun this deck actually is. Let's go, Trickstar. We got this. Switching over to deck profiling mode. So this is the right deck still stays the same for Dragon Empire. So the right deck really doesn't really change much. Like, this is exactly the same as the starter deck. These starter decks are actually going to be really relevant moving forward, so that's really nice that Vanguard already confirmed, like, this ride line is probably going to be, like, long lasting. Like, it'll be the support for a while. Like, Nirvana will still be, like, the main grade 3 you run. So it's pretty good. So for those who don't know, starting Vanguard, if you go second, you ride on this, you draw a card. This grade 1, Blaze Maiden Reno. When she's rolled upon by the grade 2, you can call Trickstar from the rear guard. So you can call one of these bad boys Trickstar. Oops, that's glare. Trickstar. And then the grade 2, if it's written on by the grade 3 Nirvana, you can grab that card. Grab Vairina to your hand. The ruling is you can only grab that card though, so you can't grab like Arcs or where is he? Valiente. You can't grab any of these. You can only grab this one here, according to the ruling. So it's not in the name. It's actually just Vairina. So that's kind of a bummer. So that's why we still have to run this. It sucks because I'd rather see Arcs more, but that's just how it is. And Nirvana is really good still. Like, you can pitch a card once per turn to grab a grade 0 and call it to rear guard. And then when you swing with it, counterblast 1, you can give all your units with Overdress ability 10k and himself. So Dragon Empire actually just swings for really high numbers. The rear guards and the Vanguard get really big actually. That's the main like win con, just like get them really big and hope they don't have PG. That's literally how I play it. Like, just swing really hard and hope they don't got PG. So I run 4 Trickstar. I also love this mat. Arcs is so good. Like, this is the mat I got from the sneak peek. Pretty cool, pretty cool. But 4 Trickstar. This card cannot be chosen by your opponent's card effects. So it's really good. So you can't retire it, you can't put it in the prison, you can't do anything to it. Like, you can't be chosen. So he's really good against Brandgate actually, and a couple of other, like, they can't get retired, so Trickstar's good. For PG. This PG is actually really good actually. This one's a hollow. Let me see here. So it nullifies all attacks, and if your hand has 2 or more cards, choose a card from your hand and pitch it. So this card is really good. So if you have 1 or less cards, you don't have to pitch a card for it. As long as you only have 2 or more. So that's really interesting, because there was a situation where I only had 1 card left in my hand after playing that card, and I literally didn't have to pitch a card. It was nice because I could keep more shield. So that's a really good PG. Then 3 of this Infernal dude. Not gonna lie, he's just fodder. He's nice. Like, he gets 2k for boosting. I think 2k for boosting. Yeah, he gets 2k for boosting, but I mostly just pitch him either for the ride deck or Nirvana for like grabbing stuff. He's fodder. Like, he's just a card I pitch a lot. The best Vairina right here, Arcs. the cover of the mat too. Like, this dude is so good. When you overdress with him, you can counterblast 1 to draw 2 cards, and it gets 5k for the turn. It's so good. It's like the draw power is amazing on this. Like, if you don't get this early game, it hurts. Like, that's why I wish you can grab it with the ride line, the ride deck, but you can't. Because he would be so good early game. He'd be so good. Like, like, starting with this is so good. Like, just drawing 2 cards. What does Pedigree do? Then for this one, he's still good too. Like, he's actually not a bad play just because he has the overdress ability. It's just the retire one is so like big. Like, that's a big cost because there's no way to soul charge right now. So you can only get his effect off like maybe once, maybe twice if you persona ride enough times. But that's about it. Like, Soul Blast 2 and retire your unit when you swing with it at a Vanguard. It's good. I mean, the 10k boost is just good in itself. Because back to the big numbers, you know. Then I run 3 Nirvana. And I got that DSR. Looks gorgeous, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. Look at that DSR. I run 3 Nirvanas. I put in the main deck this DSR because I love the idea that you can top deck it and win. Like, you want the top deck. You don't want it in your ride deck because that's weird. You don't want to ride your regular art on top of it, you know. You want to ride the DSR on top of your ride deck one. It's so satisfying. But Nirvana is so good. Like, the persona riding is just really strong on top of the effect of the 10k. They just get really, really big. They get insanely big. Then 2 SP Valiente. I run 4 total, but this card's so good too. He gets 5k for every overdress card underneath, like continuously, so even during your opponent's turns. And you can overdress on a Trickstar or a grade 2 or less, like what unit with the overdress ability, right? Oh, and the overstate has to be already overdressed. But yeah, Trickstar or an overdressed unit. And then when you hit with it, you can counterblast 1 and pitch a card. I believe that's a condition. Let's see. When this unit hits, when the attack of this unit and the overstate hits, counterblast 1 and pitch a card from your hand and stay in this unit. He's so good. Like, you don't want this card to hit. You absolutely do not want him to hit. If he hits you, he's coming back up. Oh my gosh, he gets so big. Especially if you put triggers on him. If you put the over trigger on him, that's disrespectful. But like you did to Toya. Oh man, card's so good. Then I run for that. What's it called? Burn Bright Pure Prayers. If your damage has 3 or more cards, choose one of your units and you get 15k until the end of the battle. So this card's a defensive trigger, like a defense shield basically. Gives you 15k shield. I like running him because you need a lot of shield power. Like, having that extra shield power is very nice. 1 over trigger because 1 over trigger. This over trigger is so good. If you pull it, you draw a card, give him 10 million to one of your units. Then the additional effect is stand your Vanguard. Like, goddamn, standing Nirvana again and then swinging for that twin drive is amazing. Even early game it's nice because you can just stand that Vanguard. Like I did, I over triggered on the grade 2, and standing up your grade 2 again is strong. Like, holy crap, you get another drive check too. It's amazing. So it's not a bad thing if you over trigger this early game actually, because standing up your Vanguard is so good. It's just amazing. I run 3 draw triggers, just because I'd rather just, you're already getting so much power, I'd rather just draw more. It's part of the arcs thing where it's like I just want to draw as much as I possibly can, because I'm ready, the fronts would just be extra power. That'd be great. It's not a bad move. I'd rather just draw more cards, because having a big hand is just good, really good. 4 crit, well, 4 that crit. Run 8 total. 8 crit, and then 4 heal. So that's my trigger lineup. Oh, my draws too, but so you can see my full lineup. So that's my trigger lineup. But yeah, that's the overall build. I love this card though. Like, this is the win con. Like, this card is so good. You want this card to hit. The only thing is, like, if they got a PG, man, GG. Like, I've had so many games where I was getting so strong, but then they would just PG it, and I'd be like, card restriction? Can the next Vairina get a guard restriction? I don't know. The next one is confirmed to be a grade 2, but I don't know. Either I'll just ditch the deck and play Phantom Blaster Overlord. Phantom Blaster Dragon, I mean. But I love this deck overall, though. This deck is so good. Like, I can't wait to foil it out. That's the goal of this deck. I already have the deck done, but now it's like, I want it foiled. I have to wait till June to get it foiled. But, like, I can at least get, like, the foil triggers and stuff from the main set. Because I'm not running those right now, just because I don't have the foils. I'd rather just get the foils first and then have them in there. So, I don't know. So, that's my deck profile. That's my Vanguard Overdress hype. I had a really fun time opening boxes and stuff over the weekend. It was nice. Like, damn, Overdress and then Digimon. It was like, what a wild weekend I had. And I topped Digimon too. I got first place. Hilarious. It was so fun. Oh man. Card games. Children's card games. What would I do without you? But thanks so much for watching. I don't know what's coming up next. I'll probably deck profile for Vanguard, Keter Sanctuary, and Dark States. So I have those decks done too. And Stokea if I get around to playtesting it. So, yeah, so I'll see you all next time. Thank you, and stand up your Vanguard.